They're going to take a deal of stopping now. Rosslyn Park have not yet looked quite so convincing.
A repeat of last year, Harlequins against Rosslyn Park. Quins going for a record 5th win in a row. Your commentator, Bill McLaren.
And the 65th Middlesex Sevens come to its great finale, this great rugby festival, with the presentation of the teams to the president of the Rugby Football Union, Sandy Saunders, who's accompanied there by the president of the Middlesex County Rugby Football Union, Michael Christie. And they're just meeting the winners, Esher of the Middlesex County Club Sevens Salver. That's a competition for the best result from 6 teams who are chosen from the preliminary ties for the Middlesex tournament. And Esher won by scoring 32 points. And so away they go, putting their names alongside those of Sutton and Epsom, East Grinstead, Old Alenians, Campion and Worthing. And now the 2 principal sides being introduced to the president of the RFU, Sandy Saunders. A Harlequin himself, got 9 caps away back in 1954 and 1956. And here meeting the members of his own club, Peter Winterbottom, the captain today. Peter Winterbottom there, 35 caps. And there's Sandy Saunders, a great England prop forward in his day. And just coming along there, Michael Christie of the Old Merchant Tailors, who's the president of Middlesex. Derek Mann, the secretary, or the chairman of the organising committee of this great tournament, with them too. And now the crowd of 53,000, a huge crowd, settling down for this great final. And there the Rosslyn Park side, not one internationalist in it, but every man there with a great feel for 7-a-side rugby football, including Nick Chesworth, number 10 there, who came into the side after the injury to German in the first tie. Harlequins do have internationalists in Will Carling and Peter Winterbottom, and again a very experienced 7-side with a great 7-a-side tradition behind them. And Harlequins probably favourites to win this tie, and it's very important for them, because if they do, they would set a new record for Middlesex Sevens of a 5th victory in a row. No club has ever done that before. The referee there was Will Carling, ready to play, and I'm sure he'll have a very important part to play here with his great strength and speed. The referee is Chris Rees of the London Society, and 10 minutes each way as Rob Glenister gets the tie going. There went pressure. And so there'll be a real battle here between 2 sides who know each other so well. All of the personnel in each side know the others, their strengths and weaknesses. And so there'll be a bit of nip and tuck, especially at the line out here. Taken right away by Alex Woodhouse. That's a great run by him. Across comes Thompson, and that was a super tackle by Adrian Thompson. But Adrian Thompson there, who was in the winning Harlequin Sevens at Middlesex in 86, 87 and 89. Peter Winterbottom, who had a great part in the Saltires, the Scottish Saltires win at the Gala tournament this season. Long throw meant for Thresher. Thompson couldn't take it. Glenister was the lad who picked it up. This very strongly built scrum half, there he is, who was scrum half in the winning Harlequin 7 here last season. Quick tap penalty to Winterbottom. Thompson beautifully fed away, but a real chance there for Mooney, was held by Thresher. Gets it out to Hyde. And there could well have been a penalty there against Harlequins, pulling Moon back. And so an injury here. There haven't been too many of those during this tie. And it's a very interesting injury, because Rosslyn Park's replacement is Hugh McHardy, who's, if you'll forgive me saying so, getting on a bit now. Here was where it happened. Thompson getting the ball away beautifully there, and then Andre Dent going in on the tackle and just getting a bang as he did so. So Dent himself has been in 4 Middlesex finals, a very strong chap. We call him Cato. He was a national schools karate champion at one time. and a very useful sevens player indeed. And of course it's a great worry because Rosslyn Park have played Harlequins in this final 4 times, and Harlequins have won every time, so it's a bit of a mountain for them to climb as well. So the replacement Rennick warming up, but Andre Dent's going to carry on. That's him with the ball. Penalty to Harlequins. So Andre Dent still feeling that knee knock, but he's okay. Craig Luxon gets it back from Thompson. Winterbottom, Thompson. Glenister, Luxton, Glenister. Good handling, Thompson. Oh, that's brilliant play. Out to Davis. Winterbottom is Carling outside. Now Carling is bound to take on Simon Hunter. Carling going. Chased all the way by Hunter, but that Carling pace has taken them there. It's another superb try for the English captain. And he can't get it down. He's held up by Woodhouse. Hunter's there too. And that is quite remarkable. It really looked like a try all the way. And Alec Woodhouse was the saviour. You could see here that Carling had the legs of Simon Hunter, and he meant to go behind to get a better position for the touchdown, but that is incredible. And it actually isn't a tackle if his feet are off the ground, so Hunter could go in and play it. And that was a real breather for Rosslyn Park. They've saved virtually a certain try. Moon couldn't hold that. Referee playing advantage. Luxon feeds out. Everton Davis going, caught by Wiles. Thresher's got pace. Thompson, Luxton veering away. Tackling here intense, and there is a gap out there again to Carling. Now he won't make the same mistake again, surely. Chased all the way there by Alex Woodhouse, but this time he's taking no chances. This time I will make safe, said he. And it is Will Carling's 4th try of this afternoon. And you could see there was a huge overlap out here. All it meant for Harlequins was to get the ball out to the right, and Thresher had the right feel for it. You can see the lovely long pass, which gave Will Carling a lot of spare room, and Alex Woodhouse just couldn't stay with him. So it's 4-0, and they've played 5 minutes. Amazing how quickly time goes in a 7th tie when it's exciting. And Will Carling there, 17 caps for England and 4 tries today. Stuart Thresher, the top scorer, with 3 tries and 9 conversions so far this afternoon. Thresher, quite a good strike. Just dropped underneath. It was very, very close. He's done some great kicking, and of course, as a big fellow who's got full-back skills, he's so useful in 7s as a forward. So Harlequins, who are in their record 18th final today, Rosslyn Park in their 11th final. And Simon Hunter restarts. And I think I said earlier that one of the problems for players in 7s is that chaps have to take restart kicks who aren't used to doing so in 15s. And so very often you get a poor quality of restart kicking. Remember Grant Fox, the New Zealand standoff half, practicing restart kicking for half an hour after one training session. That's how important the All Blacks regard it. Tim Hyde, the referee had seen a knock on. That's Tim Hyde, who was in the Middlesex final last season with Rosslyn Park. 37-year-old consultant in mortgage and insurance, and referee Chris Reese. He's got Roger Quittenton and Nick Cousins as his touch judges, so plenty of experience there. Glenister nicely out to Thompson. Thompson, the playmaker. Winterbottom doubling back beautifully. Carling, Glenister again. Superb running in defence, and away goes Everton Davis. Now once again it's Woodhouse, but Davis with that change of pace and that beautifully balanced running. Davis all the way. And Harlequins are 8 points ahead, and they've played almost 7.5 minutes. It was the way the Harlequins players got behind the man with the ball here that was so impressive. Peter Winterbottom first of all, then Will Carling, and then along came Glenister doubling behind. And Everton Davis with that lovely little goose step almost, stepping inside, and then the change of pace going away. It was an effortless bit of running, and great to see. So Everton Davis's 5th try of the afternoon gives Stuart Thresher the chance to kick the goal, but he's pushed it wide. Nonetheless, it looks as if Harlequins are going to have a good lead at half-time. You can see there how beautifully Davis came inside his man, and then just watch how he judged the distance from Woodhouse. He looked to see if there was any support there, just in case, but then easing away off that right foot and accelerating. Five tries for E. Davis Esquire, England B player in Spain. Thresher, Winterbottom, Thompson. Luxton is there. Now it's Davis once again. Davis caught this time by Kelvin Wiles. Yes, Kelvin Wiles there, who played in the final last year. Also played in the final with Bristol in 1988. And this great crowd all enjoying this tense and exciting final, seeing if Harlequins can set another record, or can Park beat them for the first time in a final. But they'll need the ball first of all. Thompson, Carling, Luxton again, Everton Davis, Winterbottom, Luxton. Sometimes wonder if that kind of thing shouldn't be regarded as a dangerous tackle when you pick fellas up in the air like that. Anyway, fiddling about with the ball on the deck, and Moon goes. Moon is Chesworth outside, and Moon's going all the way. Winterbottom isn't going to go with him. So Richard Moon has opened up the final. That was a very good bit of deception indeed, and the Rosslyn Park supporters are thrilled with that. He's not the fastest scrum half in the world by any means, but the little bit of deception, the kidding on the pass and then the stretch away. And, well, the Harlequins were caught a bit by surprise, and off he went. Even Craig Luxon couldn't stop him. That's Richard Moon, who's captain of the Rosslyn Park side here, and is one of the most experienced seven-a-side specialists. He's been in winning sevens all over the place. He's with the Barbarians, the Hong Kong Sevens this season, as their scrum half. Nick Chesworth is the goal kicker, formerly of London Scottish. Just pushed it a bit wide, and so it's 8 points to 4, and they're up to half-time. It's 10 minutes each way, and then they have a break of a minute, and if it's tied at the end of full time, they play in 5-minute bursts. And of course then it's sudden death. First to score are the winners. We've had one extra time tie already this afternoon. Glenister gets it going as the crowd starts to sing. Up went Winterbottom. Luxon beautifully picked up. Did well to stay on his feet, but Dent has won it. Woodhouse. Wiles is pretty quick. He's just half obstructed, but it's a race between Wiles and Luxton. Great bit of play by the New Zealander from Waikato there for Harlequins. Really saved an almost certain try. With a bit of booing from the crowd, who've been pretty good-natured all day, enjoying the sunshine and refreshment, and some splendid rugby football. And this one by no means decided yet. Luxton. Winterbottom. Well, I tell you, he wasn't pleased with it. He's found touch all right. Peter Winterbottom, who, as I was saying, had a tremendous performance for a forward in sevens up at Gala the beginning of April, leading the Saltires side, who won half-time, 8 points to 4. Harlequins are in the lead. 2 very good tries. They've scored 16 tries so far in their 4 ties. But it's still as close as that. So they met last season, of course, in the final, and Harlequins won by 18 points to 12. And so there's Will Carling, who will no doubt be thinking about that try in the very first minute when he was lifted off his feet in the in-goal area as he tried to get behind the post. Very laudable thought to try and get behind the post to make the conversion easier, but it just didn't work that time. And the conditions still great. This is the 65th tournament coming quietly to its end, but we've still got 10 minutes of, I should think, riveting action between two sides, as I say, who have played against each other so often in sevens. And sitting with me here is Nigel Starmers, and he was looking a little bit worried, but I think he maybe expected Harlequins to be further ahead, Nigel.
Well, they've certainly got the pace which they haven't been able to exploit. I must say, Park have raised their game. They're closing them down well, and the point that Hugh McHardy made about aggressive tackling is paying off, but I still think they've got something up their sleeve, and if they put the ball down after they've got over the try line, they might go ahead again.
Well, 10 minutes to find out as Simon Hunter gets it going, as the Mexican waves tears round, and Thompson goes. Adrian Thompson all the way. Chased there by Andre Dent, but a lovely move. Oh, did he miss? Did he lose it? The referee has given the try. He decided he got downward pressure, and so the try counts, and that's a very important one for Harlequins. Adrian Thompson in 3 winnings, Harlequins sevens here, formerly of Loughborough Colleges, and you could see it was Peter Winterbottom from the kick-off who sent his standoff clear away, and well, there was no chance of Dent catching him. It was a lovely bit of running,
and they nearly did it again, didn't they? Well, I'd question that one as well, Bill.
Just let's watch it once more. He Well, he may have just got downward pressure, but I don't think he was sure himself. He had a second go at it. In any case, it's what the referee says that is important. Thresher has converted, and Harlequins have a 10 points margin. Glenister. Oh, he's got it. His foot just touched the line. Roger Quittenden, who was right on the spot. The international referee is the touch judge down there. And, of course, the line is in touch. And so, a good decision. Just watch. It just needs to touch the white. Very much in touch. You may see the hats going up in the air. That's the Mexican wave, whirling round the ground here, as Richard Moon prepares to throw in. Used a long one there to Hyde. Chesworth. Hunter to Wiles. Wiles on to Hyde. Hyde the switch to Chesworth. Harlequins have used the width of the field well. They had every area covered. This is Craig Luxton. Winterbottom. Oh, that's lovely running in retreat by the Harlequins. Glenister going. Super tackle by Hyde. The pick up and feed by Woodhouse. Then goes to Wiles. This is Moon. Chesworth. Oh, a crunching tackle there. Super effort by Adrian Thompson in the tackle. Hyde still. Woodhouse. Don't think it was forward. Simon Hunter is away. Luxon coming across. Hunter is going to take him on. The feed inside. And it's just into touch. Kelvin Wiles, the support runner. He was within a metre of a score. You could see here, there was Kelvin Wiles with a splendid tackle by Will Carling. That saved the day for Harlequins. And it stays at 14 points to 4. 3 minutes of the second half gone. An injury just for the moment. And certainly if Rosslyn Park could get a score here, it would set this final alight. Still great spirit all the way around the ground. The sun shining. Season coming to an end. Craig Luxon as the injured player, as the crowd there celebrate. You can see how jovial the atmosphere is here. Great picnic parties outside the ground and inside it. A great family day, a great sporting day. Woodhouse didn't quite get there. It was a good catch. Referee's whistle has gone for a knock forward. So the crowd have done some good-natured booing today on an odd occasion. I think they'd love to see Rosslyn Park get a try, really, just to put it up to Harlequins, but Harlequins are such a beautifully balanced seven, and as I say, the great feature is firstly their ball winning, but the fact that they get behind the ball and their support positions are always first class. Thompson long. Woodhouse had anticipated Everton Davis is coming up. This is Woodhouse on his own, the big fellow against the flying machine. Good tackle by Davis. Woodhouse released it well, but Thresher feeds. Luxton, Glenister, he's on his own though. Well, the idea was good. Across comes Chesworth, but the referee's whistle goes for a late bit of obstruction. As Glenister kicked through, he was obstructed. And of course, you've got to keep in mind that those fellas will be getting pretty fatigued now. They'll have played 62 minutes of sevens when this final is over. That doesn't include any extra time. And Harlequins quite happy to hold possession. Winterbottom to Glenister to Thompson. But when they feel the gap, they soon take off. Now Thresher has scored some great tries just like this. This big, powerful fellow. Chesworth couldn't catch him, and it's another superb try for Thresher. And that surely is the score that makes it certain for Harlequins. He has done some great running this afternoon. That's his 4th try. And you know, for a big lad who normally plays full-back and has done a lot of forward duties, it's a great effort to produce that kind of acceleration here. You would have thought he was going to be caught there in the trap, but look, he stretched the legs. He's amazingly fast for a fellow who looks like a number 8 forward or a flanker. Nick Chesworth couldn't hold him, and that is a very important try indeed for Harlequins. And he's not too puffed that he can't take the kick himself. This will be his 11th conversion if he plops it over, and he did. And so Harlequins are virtually out of sight. 20 points to 4 they lead, and I reckon they've played 6.5 minutes. So 3.5 to go. And Harlequins looking very much like record breakers once again. As I say, nobody's ever been to 18 Middlesex finals before. London Welsh got to 16, Richmond to 14, London Scottish to 12. Simon Hunter with 3 minutes to go. Winterbottom, who's done so well at the restart kicking. Thompson once again. Luxton, Carling. Luxton again. Luxton has been a very good link man today. There he's linking again to Everton Davies. On to Winterbottom. Oh, Carling is away. Well, nobody will catch him. Richard Moon won't catch him. And Will Carling shields it for Harlequins. Another beautiful bit of running by him, because he was in the move earlier on and he came up on the outside. And that's his 5th try as well. He equals Everton Davies. And it was a beauty. 24 points to 4, Harlequins lead. And Luxton really had done such superb linkage work. And then that was the switch to Everton Davies. Now, out of the tackle, he still managed to get the ball away. Winterbottom timed his pass beautifully. And Carling, well, nobody's going to catch him from there, because he's not only strong, but he's desperately quick as well. And so Thresher pops it over. And it's all over, bar the shouting. 26 points to 4, Harlequins lead. Remember when they once beat Rosslyn Park here by 40 points to 12. That was away back in 1978. And that's the highest winning margin ever in the final at Middlesex Sevens. And it looks as if Harlequins are going to do it again. Simon Hunter again, once more kicking to Winterbottom. Hunter got hands to it first, got it the second time. Chesworth out to Wiles. Wiles on to Moon. But again, magnificent tackling there. And it's a pass out there to Chesworth. And still Harlequins have saved the day. Quite remarkable covering defence by them thus late in the day. They've played over an hour of 7-a-sides. And to get back and cover in that way was really quite remarkable and so effective. Adrian Thompson, however, penalised. And we've only got about half a minute left, and it's 26 points to 4 for Harlequins. And Nigel, they deserve it by the look of it.
And I think the key element has been the work of Adrian Thompson. This is his 3rd, well, likely to be his 4th winning final now, and his choice of options, his playmaking has been quite superb, as well as his cover defence as well, and I think he's the man who's masterminded the whole event.
Adrian Thompson, who came up through the Loughborough College's side, was on the England bench in '89, and here they go again. Rosslyn Park just dying to get another score as Woodhouse tries to rip it clear. They've managed to get it to Chesworth, and Chesworth is in and gets one of the biggest cheers of the day. Nick Chesworth, who, as I say, came in for the injured Mark German in the first tie. And this his first Middlesex final, 26 points to 8, and it all came along as easily as this. They worked it clear. He sidestepped Everton Davies. No bother. You can see it once more. It's a lovely sidestep, wasn't it? And he made the gap for himself, really. So Alex Woodhouse got the conversion over, and it's 26 points to 10. and I reckon that they played full time. And the Harlequins won't be the least bit bothered about getting this kick-off done too quickly. Rob Glenister. Oh, Winterbottom's tackle. It was such a very good kick-off, a bit too far, but high enough to give Winterbottom the chance to get there. Glenister with a chip kick. Is he going to get another score? Good bit of cover by Tim Hyde on that occasion. And it all started from that crunching tackle by Peter Winterbottom, who I say has developed into a very effective seven-a-side player indeed. And Harlequins with Craig Luxon, a scrum half type there, doing the hooking for them. And a bit of bother early on, but you can see he's got the idea of it now, although the direction wasn't just ideal. Then trying to feed out onto Moon, then to Hyde. Referee's whistle had gone. He decides it was forward. He's blown his whistle for the end of the tie. And the Harlequins have run out convincing winners by 26 points to 10. They really have proved to be the champion side today. They started slowly against Richmond too, but they began to put it together against the West London Institute, whom they beat by 34-6. And they've looked like the best side all the way through, and they've created all kinds of records. This is their 18th final. It's their 13th victory here at the Middlesex Sevens, and nobody's won as often as that. But equally important, it's their 5th victory in a row, and no side has ever done that before. The great Harlequins of 1926 to 29 won 4 in a row at the start of this great tournament. London Scottish won 4 in a row, St Mary's Hospital 3, and London Welsh 3. But to win 5 Middlesex tournaments on the trot is a feat of which this great club certainly can be very proud. They've come from just across the road here at the Stoop Memorial, and they've done it once again, and they've proved themselves the champion 7 of this great tournament. They won, of course, the Rugby Football Union Cup in 1988 when they beat Bristol. They didn't do that this season, and in the Courage Leagues in Division 1 they finished 7th, so that's not as good as they would want it to be. But in 7-a-sides over recent seasons, they've proved themselves the star players. Superb play, and the whole crowd gathering now down on the pitch for the presentation of the various trophies. And there you can see the great euphoria amongst the Harlequin supporters. They came along here expecting to win, and they have won. As I say, with great features of 7-a-side play. Firstly, winning ball, which they developed tremendously well, even with Craig Luxon at hooker. The movement of the ball around the pitch, their tremendous running backwards, not only in order to support the ball carrier, but as we saw in all their ties, running backwards in defence. And there, Peter Winterbottom, who's the captain of this side, as he's been of the winning Saltires side at Gala, the Scottish Saltires, and playing in the winning Harlequin 7 last season. And Peter Winterbottom receiving the Russell Cargill Memorial Cup there from the president of the Middlesex County Rugby Football Union, Michael Christie of Old Merchant Taylors. And there Everton Davies, who scored 5 beautiful tries, such a silken smooth runner. Stuart Thresher, who was the top scorer of the day with 4 tries and 12 conversions. So important to get the conversions over. Glenister, Luxon and Thompson just waiting their turn. And there, Adrian Thompson, who, as Nigel was saying earlier on, was the playmaker, the architect of this great victory. Adrian Thompson, 28 now, but having created some beautiful play. And of course, to the runners-up, and Rosslyn Park have met Harlequins 5 times in the final here and still haven't beaten them. But they put up some splendid rugby football. Richard Moon there receives the Barry Boyden Rose Bowl, named after the former president of the Middlesex Rugby Football Union, who organised 28 Middlesex Sevens tournament along with his wife Marjorie. And there, well, some folk don't care whether Harlequins or Rosslyn Park won. But there, the great scene here at the end of this great season. Rosslyn Park having put up a tremendous fight, but beaten in the final by 26 points to 10. And Harlequins, for the 5th time in a row, and for the 13th time in all, out of 18 finals, Harlequins, the Middlesex County champions at 7-a-sides for 1990.
So Harlequins ending the 65th tournament as they began it in 1926 with a victory. The crowd have enjoyed it, we have. Good night to you from Twickenham.